Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon update. My God, we are in the fetal stages of a world war. The Supreme Court is going to rule that a fetus has more rights than the woman creating it. Joe Manchin just killed the women's health bill, which will kill women and fetuses. And gas prices are higher than Tommy Chong during the third week in April.
I'm busy watching this money. Ain't gonna watch it. Hey, what are you doing?
This tastes like shit.
So it's okay if right now you're in a fetal position. Let's talk about the economy and why Joe Biden has turned off the gas spigot. So gas is so expensive, we can't buy as much street fentanyl as we want. And Biden is also starving us by hoarding all the bread and the hot dogs. At least that's what the Republicans are saying, that the economy is all Joe Biden's fault.
Hotels going up 30%,
Chicken,
furniture
13%, dry cleaning,
I don't
baby
think
food,
any of
dry
that has to
cleaning,
do with
baby
Putin's
food,
war.
8%.
Great. Let's take a look at that. First, we need to compare and contrast. In 2020, this is what supermarkets look like. This is what highways look like. And this is what hospitals look like. This is what the unemployment rate looked like. And this is what incompetence looks like. You know, the New York Times reported that the economy contracted by a record 9.5% in the second quarter of 2020. For Trump's whole last year, it contracted 31.4%, which reduced the overall size of the economy to early 2015 levels. Trump let it decline twice as large as the Great Recession. So, facts, huh? Ain't they a bitch? On top of the denial of COVID, which Forbes said killed 40% more people than would have died, had somebody done something? I'm talking to somebody orange. Here's how the economy works, people. Now I'm a moron, so I'm going to keep simple. People have jobs. They go to those jobs and make goods and or perform services. Then they get paid to make those goods and or services. They then use that pay to buy goods and or services made by other people at their jobs. Those people working those jobs also use their pay to purchase goods and or services. And when there's too many of a certain goods, let's say lime green Crocs in a size 14, sorry Highlander, they go on sale because there's too many. However, if lime green Crocs were worn by Pete Davidson and their popularity skyrockets, then there's a scarcity. And that drives the price of lime green Crocs through the roof. Supply and demand. That's why we have inflation. Now, during the amazing Incompetence Palooza Festival of the last administration, they lost 11 million jobs. And the rest of us were locked down, producing nothing and not getting paid. This is what stores look like under Trump. This is what they look like under Biden. In the last 16 months under Biden, 8.5 million jobs have been added, 6% growth. People are spending money. Yet no one was making lime green Crocs for the last 2 years. And the factory in China is still shut down because of COVID. What a crock. I know, I hate me too. Look, oil prices went to zero during COVID. No one was driving. Gas supplies dropped. Now, everyone's back on the road doing what they do best while driving. Tweeting. Everybody's on the road. Gas production is ramping up. But Russia sent so much of his gas to Europe before the war. Now they don't because Putin is a Hitler-esque douchebag. It's a thing. Ukraine also produces a third of the grain for Europe. I'm guessing this next harvest is going to taste a little gunpowdery. But these are all excuses, right? Russia started a war that screwed up gas and food in Europe. Excuses. Saudi is refusing to increase oil production. Come on, those are excuses. We're trying to get all the ships unloaded to get stuff to the stores. Oh, and the worldwide microchip shortage is stopping production of almost everything. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Gas prices and inflation are at an all-time high all over the world. And you know what that means? It's Obama's fault. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Yeah, Obama's gonna just keep screwing it up. It's always the black guy. Everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. That camera looks like it's shooting off. Is it getting me? Did you send me this one? My camera.
Yeah, it should be because it's getting you and the TV.
Oh, you're getting
good. Yeah, so I can punch.
So the ad, so you can do the ad.
Yeah, so I can have like a nice wine.
All right, sorry.
Yes, Queen. I guess
we should have a production meeting before we start doing it.
We need him to get his eyes fixed. We were just telling him that.
I've had 2 lasers and surgery, and now that they said, second one they said, oh, by the way, with me as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Highlander.
There can be only one.
Wait,
you got LASIK twice? You got the second?
I had it once, and it was great for a while, and then I did it again like 9 years later, and nothing changed. So then I went to another doctor, and he did the X-rays in my head. He did this weird thing with your eyes, and he goes, I have the X-rays or whatever the scan they do.
Yeah.
Because I have both records from your doctor, and your eyes basically, I was really working out at the time, really healthy. He said your eyes grew back exactly.
Oh, yeah.
They came back.
Right.
So I might have to do PRK or something, which is
Yeah.
where they take your eye off, and I wear an eye patch for a while. So I get to walk around. Welcome to the Titus Podcast.
I have a picture of you. We had just moved in together, and you got that. I guess it was the second one. I wasn't there for the first one. And I have a picture of him. They put those big, giant plastic lenses and then taped them on his
Cuffs
face.
on my head, yeah.
And he was still drugged, and I had given him an ice cream cone. I don't know why. And you were in bed with a Starbucks cup balanced on your chest and an
high
ice
on
cream
Vicodin.
cone and asleep.
High on
was like,
Vicodin, man.
yeah, you were
Vicodin. I
happy.
told her, I said, don't ever let me take Vicodin unless I'm.
It's bad. Yeah, it's bad.
Oh,
You did tell me that several times.
My body went, hey.
So,
That way. I think, man, it really knocked you out.
oh no,
Hello,
he
Vicodin.
He said, "Don't let me take it." So I was like, "You're right." So I took him. It was a win-win-win-win-win.
It was a win-win-wee. So about the economy, the Armageddon update today was about the economy, and everybody's blaming Joe Biden for high gas prices. To be honest with you, I just filled my Dodge Ram up. Woo! Like 150.
Yeah, I actually got a phone call.
I called him like, yeah. So I'd like to say to Saudi Arabia, fuck you. To Vladimir Putin, fuck you. I'm to the point now where, like you said, NAFTA. We were talking about NAFTA. She hates NAFTA, and NAFTA screwed us. But because we went global and let's let all these other countries produce stuff, and what we'll do is we'll all work at a McDonald's or a Starbucks. That's what we'll do. We're just going to do that. We're not building shit here anymore. We're all going to either work retail or be a barista. That's our jobs now. Yep. And because of that, we now live in a place where we don't make anything. And so when people stop making stuff, we're kind of screwed.
Turns out when you're the leader of the free world, you need to have some future sight. You need to consider consequences.
Long-term.
Apparently,
Yes, consequences.
But
Yes.
our Congress can't even think about tomorrow. So today
They're thinking about 50 years ago. That's what they're thinking about.
Yeah.
They want to revert things back to 50 years ago.
Yes, they want, and they're thinking about their tomorrow, no one else's. How many more monies can I get? Speaking of monies, we have the same manager.
We're at zero because of the truck
and
is
he
full.
wrote an email to some people on his behalf and said the word monies 7 times in 2 sentences.
the monies need to be when the money show up.
Next time I say about monies, you need to put the monies so that I know the monies. And I was like,
I will say this.
no.
I think
the monies.
I think it was the old English users of it that did that because the money showed up. All monies. All the monies ended up in the bank
In a
account.
bag.
Which
And
is
it was metal.
Yeah,
It was-
yeah, it was
Ka-ching.
ka-ching. Yeah. So China has shut down now because of COVID. They're not producing stuff. Tesla's factory in Shanghai is shut down now because they can't get parts and they can't get workers because everybody's shut down. Tesla dropped today. I think it dropped like $70.
So nothing is
share.
getting produced in the world, right? China makes everything.
Well, that's the problem we have right now. And I hope because Biden said he wanted to bring back manufacturing.
Better. He wanted to bring back better. Oh, that was build back better. Go ahead.
Build- he wanted to
Continue.
build
Sorry.
back better. What'd you build?
What
Better?
is happening
built
to you? Let's talk about
He's
that for
mad.
a second.
He's mad.
But let's
by
just
the way,
talk about this.
He is still
Why
like
we're
holding.
all kind of dumb today. I
He
think
is holding
we should,
on to pain, anger,
Yeah.
hatred, fear, tired, and
But also,
and anxiety.
Yes, this last week was a lot in different ways for each of us.
True.
We all had our own crazy.
Nightmare?
Yes, okay, that's a better way of saying it. And Ken apparently had even more nightmare than we knew that Ken was having.
But he took the bullet, man, like a
But
pro.
I had nightmares that
Multiple
I never
bullets.
told you about either because I knew you would panic. And so, so we shot the special.
Which had zero
this
side
past
effects.
Saturday.
Which, by the way, to everybody who showed up, to all of our friends, Mo and Bay and
Shauna and Tony.
Shauna and Tony.
And also,
Dee Schneider from Twisted
it's
Sisters.
not
showed up.
Schneider, it's Snyder.
Dee Snyder.
You keep calling him Schneider.
I'm sorry.
It's Snyder.
Dee Snyder
From Twisted Sisters.
and Richard
Super cool.
Marx.
Richard Marks came. It was like,
And his kids.
and if you guys were at the show, when you walked in, you might have noticed that the person selling T-shirts for us was Zach Ward.
was Zach Ward.
That's
It
so
was the
funny.
most
That's so
fun, silly, stupid night but total nightmare leading up to it, and
the production. So what we have to do, people, when Combustion Films goes over and does a production, we take everything over. We've rented cameras. We've got camera guys. We've got everybody. It's a crew. It's a move. Well, when movies do it, they have a couple of days to set up or whatever.
Yes.
We get there at like noon. We have to have by 7. We have to have everything ready, rolling.
We have to dismantle their theater.
Yes.
All of their booth.
Well,
and then we can put our stuff in.
That's another thing too. When you're asking, so we live streamed it too, which is great, and you people were awesome. And any quality problems, hit us up and we'll fix it. But
if you don't know this, most people, I think everyone did, but Ken at 1 a.m. came back over here and made a clean stream. So we have a link. So we ended up giving most people that link to rewatch if theirs was too glitchy on the night of. And so if you didn't know about that and you didn't get it, just hit us up at tituscwi@gmail and we'll send you that link.
So what happened is that usually we have a crew. I love crew. It doesn't happen without the crew. And so we hired some new people, and we had a couple of people who shall remain nameless that were not my job people.
They were pure
They were not my. And here's the thing: if you, there is no not your job in a production like this. Yeah. There is no crossing it up and going, I'm just gonna. This is my job. I stand here. I do this. First of all, we ain't union, so fucking pick some shit up. I'm performing in like less than half an hour. I'm trying to get the freaking LED lights to go blue so they all match for the camera, and I'm sitting there like this stupid computer trying to figure it. I don't even know what I'm doing. Yeah, and basically it's hieroglyphics. Like it doesn't even give you like the back of it. It's like it's an R, a K, and an X, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. And then PDM. Oh God, CFT. Jesus. Like I know it means something, but I don't know what it means. So I'm just praying to hit blue, and it's my show. I'm paying everybody who's doing it. I'm fixing lights, and it was making me mad. Because we had a couple people, we had a couple people that were just, one specific, but there was a couple that were just not my job people.
I had a guy who was, it's not me. Like, he's going to leave. I'm going to give it to the other guy.
That's right. So
the other guy didn't even know. He didn't know any.
But here's the thing.
He didn't know English.
Yeah.
So
by the way, that's base level. Listen, just base.
We should be able to communicate on some level.
So my head of production can actually talk to you in a language that we've agreed upon.
Oh boy.
It was Fetus was there also.
Yeah, Ryan was great.
He did ask me if he still has to be Fetus, and I said yes. Yeah, although I did call him Rye a couple of times to make him feel better.
He was helpful. He worked. There were some people that really possessed, but Ken. So I didn't know what was going on. Then, by the way, I have to tell you how great Highlander is. So we did this. I think I already know it's a little shaky. I can feel it, but it didn't seem that crazy.
Yeah, good.
So yesterday we took Monday off, and then yesterday we came here, and you started telling me, and it was such a fucking nightmare. As you told me, I realized, oh, thank God you didn't tell me, because I would have grown a tumor. Like before I went on stage, and
you would have burst through the video wall.
I'd have walked on stage. What up, motherfuckers? You have no idea how shitty things are. I would have
you better fucking laugh at this shit.
Yeah, I would have walked out with an attitude.
We had a camera operator just
decide not to show up,
which I didn't tell you, and then you called Fetus about something else because you had gone home to take a few hours like to work on your show, and Ryan hung up and he goes, I didn't tell him, Ray. And I said, good. And he goes, oh, I learned. I was like, because when Ryan first worked here, he was like, let me tell you everything, all the problems. And then explosion would ensue.
He would walk. No. Ryan, as I'm getting ready for the show, would walk in and go, Titus, we got a problem.
Yes,
that's how he would start. That's how Fetus would start. And I'm like, finally had to say, don't start like that.
We're going on in 10 minutes. Nothing's going to get solved right now.
So to your credit, with all the nightmare, all the 9 things that were just coming apart, and literally shit that was like that wasn't handled 10 minutes before we started shooting. That when you told me that, I was like, oh, I'm so glad. So both of you, very, very impressed and proud of you not telling me, because I kept it together. I was fine. I was like, all right, it seems like a little shaky. It'll be fine. I did not know that everything was sideways. You okay? Go ahead. You can go.
I'm okay.
You have the floor.
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
What was the biggest thing? What was the biggest?
We're good. I'm good.
What was the thing that bothered you the most?
I thought, obviously, never mind.
It's not my job guy. Not my job guy.
No, but I think we'll just move on from this.
Yeah, because what I would have to say is revealing. I wouldn't want to.
Right, and a lot of people listen. So we should move on from this.
Just know
Everything
there was
Yeah.
big fucking mistakes made, and those people will never work with us again. There you go.
They'll be sleeping with the fishes.
There you go. Boom.
Oh, speaking of
that,
sleeping with the fishes, climate change, have you seen this,
going on,
has
Lake Mead?
caused Lake Mead to drop significantly. Well, that lake is right by Las Vegas.
Guess
what
what
do
they're
you
finding?
think they're finding?
Oh, wow. No shit.
Barrels with bodies in
They're finding
them.
50-gallon
With
barrels with
gunshots.
bodies in them.
Yes.
Yeah, it might.
No fucking
Hey,
way.
hey, stop. Hey, gunshots. Listen, here's what happened. He was loading his weapon, standing near a barrel,
Okay.
shot himself, fell in, then boom. Then so what happened? Someone came by, put a lid on it, thinking it was garbage, and it rolled into Lake Mead.
Sir,
now-
could I, Mr. Vitello, I'm just wondering, he had a concrete brick chained around his feet as well.
It was leg day.
Climate change
Oh.
is going to change now. It's going to be fixed by the mobsters.
That's what I said. I go. You want to get it?
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're gonna have to. Everyone's driving electric now. Everybody,
Yeah.
everybody. Why? Because we don't want. Because there's a lot of secrets.
Why are you asking so many questions?
Why are you accents? So there's bodies. They're discovering bodies
Quote,
now.
we expect to find many more.
That's what they said in Vegas. They're like, we know where we
amazing.
live.
They've already
I
found
love
a
that-
couple.
I love that they haven't. If they expect to find any more, they haven't drugged for them though. They're like, yeah, we knew they were there, but now we got to deal with them because they're coming up above the water.
We're going to find Jimmy Hoffa in there.
Damn
find
you,
everybody.
carbon monoxide.
So
dioxide
how
monoxide.
will mob bosses dispose of bodies now? Because they've always been so fond of the sleeping with the fishes thing. So now they're going to have to come up with something more
You got to
inventive.
go sustainable.
Guys, we're turning everybody to mulch.
You got to be
It's
grass-fed.
going to be compost for the
Exactly.
natural organic
Yes.
garden.
Exactly. It's organic. By the way, I only use assassins out of 100% organic and gluten-free. So here's what we do. What we do, we grind them up. We grind them up, Phil. We put them in a flour bed. Boom, look at my flour bed. Beautiful.
Speaking of mulch, the murder house across the street, have you seen that they have gotten more mulch and they're out there today staring at the
I
ground
love that.
They
with a
got
couple
raided.
more bags of mulch?
And nobody like measured anything. They're just like,
No.
yeah, three bags.
they're,
Bags is
they're
good.
dressing up the place a little bit.
No, they got raided. I have pictures.
Hold on.
Nope. I was
By whom?
by the police.
And?
This was a couple days ago.
And?
I don't know, but if you can
Can
see
we show
people,
this?
yeah,
Look at this. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
like they were. It was a full-on raid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, one side.
So I don't know. I don't know what happened, but that's what I said. Like the mulch. If you can see the mulch, people, it's half-assed. They actually literally just did half of
And
it.
that looks better than it really does.
Yeah, but today they've got 3 more bags out there, and there's 2 dudes just staring at the ground, and the bags are just sitting there. So I thought, okay, well, at least they're trying to fix the murder
That's
house
okay.
up a little bit.
Okay.
It's a little,
He's
it's,
saying
it is
fix murder
spring.
mulch. That's it.
Well, because many bodies is over there. What happened? We just we called it fertilizer.
Just chuck some mulch over their bodies.
So the show went really well. So all the problems aside, and this is what I went through yesterday because he was out of 10. Man, I came in here and he was still pissed. It was Tuesday and he was still pissed about Saturday. It's like he had just let it fester, and he was like, Titus, bah! So then I went through every other production we did and told him all the problems we always had. And what I found is, it seems to be that, remember when the lights wouldn't go on during Born with a Defect? We couldn't get the stage lights on, and I finally left. I'm like, you know what? You guys figure this out. I'm out. Because I was getting mad.
Oh, that's right. We were there. You and I were there at midnight the night before,
For trying-
and we
and it-
left and we came back.
Yeah.
We had to separate, and we came back at whatever 1 o'clock or something,
Yeah.
and they got him on. Or
So wait,
voice in my head. Go ahead.
you could go in there the night before.
Yes.
Great. Okay, great. That's what we tried to do with this one.
Voice in my head. A lady in Fresno. You can hear her on the album, even though we tried to cut her out a lot. Got completely shit-faced.
Shit-faced.
Beginning of the show, and after every sentence, even non-punchlines, woo! And if you listen to Voice in My Head,
Screaming.
you can hear it, and we made it better.
And every
just
once in a
so
while you can
know.
hear bottles because they gave the
Yep.
theaters, they gave people
glass
beer glass
bottles,
bottles. So you
and
every
it's a tier. It's on a ramp, like a
yeah, theater.
an
It's a
incline.
movie
Oh,
theater.
decline,
that's hard to
whatever.
miss
Every
out.
once in a while you
Clink.
clink.
So,
And-
so
good.
she keeps screaming. So I find her. Zach was there, and Zach pointed her out. And I go at the end of the aisle, and I'm like, And she kind of looked at me through her drunken stupor because I was doing your dad face. I learned it from you. And mouthing, I'm going to kill you. And she stopped. And then she got dead quiet. And then that concerned me as well. And I kind of go back and someone goes, she's passed out and she's vomited all over herself. So we had to get her, it's the middle of the show. We had, which I had also opened. So we had to get her out of the theater without disrupting you any more than you had already been disrupted. That was fun.
Yeah. Every area. So this show, honestly, probably you've been to, of the specials we've done, you've been at all of them.
Except for Norman Rockwell.
The only one you weren't at was Norman Rockwell, but you were at filming the 5th annual, and I think this is probably one of my best performances.
This was, I'll say it again, masterful. There was nothing missing. Your timing, because I'm also a comedian, so I know timing.
And an asshole too.
And an asshole. I should have said it the other way around. I'm an asshole and a comedian, and I'll be like, "Oh, that wasn't." Yeah, same you do with me, like, "Man, you missed it by like half a second," whatever.
Yep.
It was. There was nothing wrong at all. It was masterful, and even Zach texted me the next day, and Zach, who is also an asshole, and in performance and knows you and how you perform and everything better than anyone, like I do. Right. He said it was like watching a Jedi master.
40 years of doing this, better be that good. Zach said to me, he goes, Titus, I've looked in your eyes when you forget lines. Yep. I know he has. If we were doing Titus, he knows when I'm missing it. Right. He goes, I see when you're lost and you know what you're doing. He goes, I didn't see it. You were calm, and it was. He goes, I've never seen you that good. And I said, it's because of the last story I told in the special. That really happened, and it changed my outlook pretty much on life, except for driving. It didn't change my outlook in the car. I still think people are fucking stupid. Yeah, that's not going to change.
It was, he said, the show was great. I honestly think it's the best one he's ever done. He feels like a different level, like a comedy Jedi at home in his element.
Yay,
so great to see. Look at you getting uncomfortable.
I was in the car. I teared up when you read it to me the first time. I teared up, and then when you said what you said,
it was. You teared up when I said. When I reviewed it the next morning.
Well, because you guys are assholes, and you guys are not effusive with compliments. When you guys give a compliment, when both you and Zach give me the compliment that good, two things have happened. You're going to murder me.
Two things have happened.
Two things may happen. You're going to murder me, or you really think I was that good. And and both those make me cry.
Well, the first one's still not out.
Yeah, I know, and both those tear me up. Yeah. Where are we going? Lake Mead? What?
8.
We got to hurry up before it's gone.
Go deeper. You got to go deeper.
Exactly perfect. And the audience was perfect. It was a dream audience. And just everything came together. So, and I'm so glad. And you have checked, and it is there on. It was filmed. We actually
there's some folders.
Okay, you haven't opened to see if there's okay.
Well, we see. He's got me. You got me paranoid because you're so freaked out about he's freaked out losing it. Because usually we have 2 shots at it, but because I picked the week to film my special when Netflix was doing the Netflix is a Joke comedy festival in Los Angeles, where every comic on the planet, and I think they brought Carlin back from the dead, and he did a live show. It was all right. Yeah, it was good. It's good. It's a little slower than I remember. Yeah. They brought all those comics, and everybody had a show. Patton and Fluffy sold out 2 shows at Dodger Stadium. I think Mulaney was in town. Bill did a bunch of shows. Burr, and so everybody was working that week. And we said, we're going to put our own little show up in North Hollywood. Come on, everybody. Come on down. It'll be awesome. And it was good. Yeah. But we had 1 shot at it. So we had one shot at it. And and so you're paranoid we're going to lose it.
Well, things got pushed, even starting from the day before. We were scheduled to go in and set up the night before. And that got canceled.
What happened with that?
They had vandalism.
That's right. So that's what happened to the theater too. They had the front of the theater on either side. There's a eyeglass store, and there's something else on the other side. And someone came in and broke all those front windows out. Yeah,
and this theater was around during vaudeville, as well as the box office person, and he said that first, and then I got to talk.
That's funny. She doesn't talk. She's like.
The phone is like one of those switchboards.
Speaking to the microphone. She's really super sweet and really just helpful and kind. And I just actually talked to her. But the marquee is beautiful.
Yeah,
and
it's
neat,
old
different,
neon.
old neon kind of Art Deco
yeah.
looking. And they smashed that too. And then the dude passed out on the sidewalk in front of the theater so that the cops knew who had done it when they got there.
That's not the best crime. North Hollywood doesn't have the best crime lords.
Yeah.
So you broke the windows, broke the neon, and then passed out at the scene of the crime.
Johnson,
Yeah.
this is an open and shut case.
Hold on, I think I got. Give me a second.
There's 2 comedians in the news today.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Interesting because our guess on why they weren't charging the guy that attacked Dave Chappelle at Hollywood Bowl.
I guess. Was it accurate?
No.
Oh.
So our guess, go ahead. This was your.
My guess was that guy got his ass stomped by everybody.
He did. His arm was. Totally stole and put it on Twitter. I said they made arm origami.
And I said, hey, they disarmed him.
The
Right.
picture of him, his arm is actually like the elbow is going
It's like a
that
horror
way.
movie,
The
like-
shoulder
Yeah.
goes this way. Clink. It
Yeah.
goes straight out, and then his arm is like. So I thought, well, they didn't press charges, and they refused to press charges because that guy got his ass stomped so bad. And I was thinking that Chappelle's people went, listen, you got on stage, you got your ass kicked, we're even. And the guy was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, don't press charges on Busta and Jamie Foxx and the other people
Everybody
who rearranged you.
Chris Rock, who's got some rage pent up.
I thought you were going to say there was a legal, like some retaliation. So if they do
No,
press
actually,
charges,
there's 3 comedians in the news right now.
Really?
No, Dave is actually requesting felony charges against the attacker and asking the DA why. And the DA has said that it doesn't constitute a felony.
Running on stage and assaulting somebody?
And Dave is saying that entertainers in Los Angeles, especially here, need to know that the justice system is going to protect
Hell
them
yeah,
when they're on
good.
stage.
Good for him.
He had a weapon though. Didn't
He
have
had a knife disguised as a gun.
So they were like, hey, that's not a gun.
That's not a
That's
gun.
just
That's
a
not
knife.
a knife. It's just a gun. Let him in.
And can we have a hand for the security over at Hollywood Bowl? No. It's no.
What is that? You're good. Go
It's
ahead.
not a knife.
It's just disguised as a gun. It ain't a gun. Relax. Listen, I worked at Lake Mead for a long time. We're good. Nothing's wrong here.
Yeah, who was?
It's not a gun. Don't worry about it.
I think it was Margie from the theater. Also does security at Hollywood Bowl.
So Dave wants, and one of the guys, I think that the head DA was saying, I'm not going to press charges, and then the secondary guy was like, no, we're pressing charges. So Chappelle wants charges pressed. Good. I hope he gets it.
So they're saying the DA said because the guy was not holding the weapon in his hand, it was on his person, but he was not brandishing it, that it wasn't a felony. Security quickly separated the 2 men. Mr. Chappelle was not injured.
Security quickly separated the 2 men, and then security separated the man
The
from his
one
arm.
man into many pieces. They still don't know why. The guy's still in jail. He pled guilty he pled not guilty to 4 misdemeanor charges filed by a different office from the city attorney.
He's still in jail.
Not the district attorney. The city attorney charged with 4 different misdemeanor charges.
Wait, he's still in jail though.
It says he remains
Good.
behind bars. I think because he doesn't have monies. He
He
doesn't
had
have
enough
the
money
monies.
to buy a ticket to a Chappelle concert and sit up front at the
And
Hollywood
to buy
Bowl.
a knife disguised as a gun. Yeah. He's a rapper. Roy Wood Jr. tweeted that if he didn't use that picture as his album cover when he finally made it, then he was not a true rapper. He looks bad.
Yeah. They stomped him.
Other comedian in the news, Laurie Kilmartin, who we love, who we've
who's
had on this
guest
show.
on the show. Yeah, she actually said something on MSNBC that I thought was quite funny, but also very ballsy to the point where when the people on MSNBC, when the lefties are like, "Oh no,"
There's a point where she says something and the other 3 people and it just goes dead.
but
Hello. Is this?
I don't know if you aren't following her, if you can now on Twitter because she's protected her account because she's getting death threats and
people
insanity.
have sent her pictures of her own home.
Yeah, pages of emails, but it's really a fun follow because she never relents with snarkiness. It's pretty funny.
Just keeps it funny, keeps attacking the dipshits.
And she's showing screenshots of pages of emails from people, and Did you read the one of the guy from Florida? I'm going to find it before we get off this because it's a self-own. It's,
can I say something about this? And I talked about this in the new show. It's a comedian. Listen, there's people right now working every day to take your rights away. They're literally working every day to pass legislation to stop you from voting. They're passing it to stop you from being having body autonomy. They're doing everything they can to take your rights away. They're actually giving. They want to raise your taxes. Rick Scott wants to raise your taxes on you and people $2,000 more, but not raise it on and cut them for corporations again. That's what they're talking about. And you guys are pissed at a comedian? What a bunch of snowflake pussies. Let me just be clear about that. You guys are mad that a comedian said a joke? So listen, don't listen to that comedian. Don't think they're funny. That's fine. But death threats? What a bunch of cowards. What a bunch of babies. You guys,
and people, just the stuff they're calling her is really gnarly. Okay,
Laurie Kilmartin, let me be very clear. Laurie Kilmartin wrote for Conan O'Brien for 10 years. And Laurie Kilmartin is one funny son of a bitch.
But she's not funny because of that. She's funny because of all of the comedy that she wrote for herself. That if you listen to
her new album is amazing.
Yeah, she's really funny.
She has a reminds me a little bit of Attell has these right turns in her jokes, and I'm like, wow, that's brilliant writing. She's a brilliant writer. No. My point was this. Here's how good Laurie Kilmartin is.
On this show, they would be
Conan kept her on for 10 years. That's how funny Laurie Kilmartin is.
So she said on MSNBC that she wants to make sweet love to the SCOTUS leaker and joyfully abort our fetus. If it's a Republican.
If it's a Republican, I will joyfully abort the fetus.
So
now I was like, you know me. I'm like, all right.
The misspellings in all of the emails that people are sending, holy every time. Holy shit, WHOLLY, herd, HERD.
Yeah, I never heard of you.
Come on.
HERD. You ain't heard of writing and reading either.
But also, I love when people are like, I've never heard of you. It's like, but you're tweeting me, so you heard of me.
You actually did.
Because
you and the rest of the herd have obviously heard of me.
That
doesn't hurt me.
So this guy sent 2 different emails. You don't know me, mama, but I heard your horrid remarks on MSNBC. I'll paraphrase. I'll get to it. Frankly, I'm shocked. Oh yeah, they played the clip on Sean Hannity, and that's how she's now.
Like they did with Bill O'Reilly on my thing.
Yeah,
with the Sarah Palin joke.
I think a woman of your maturity, 56, ought to be more balanced. I'm 61. My wife and I never have kids. How I wish we had. Grandkids would be a blessing, but you just want to kill babies? Ma'am, you better get right with God. I feel sorry for you. Then he sends a follow-up email. Same guy, same email address.
Same guy. By the way, this I read this and I'm like, what?
But this is what they all do. These ones that protest so much.
Yeah.
You seem like a tech-savvy person. I am an evangelical Christian, and Google has decided to flood all my ads with gay ads for streaming movies. But he put steaming. I assure you, I have no such interest.
Steaming and streaming.
I assure you, I have no such interest, and I do not know why they decided to do this. Being famous and all, maybe you know somebody at Google and can say, look, stop tormenting this man. He has zero interest in this gay crap.
Out of the blue, after sending a hateful email, and by the way,
I'm sorry.
Listen, can someone explain an algorithm to that man? That the only reason you're getting
you
gay,
would have to get past the word algorithm.
That's true. Who's Al?
Exactly.
The only reason you're getting gay porn sent to your computer is because you're watching gay porn.
Yes. How many times did he watch Tucker's promo?
Yeah,
oh my God,
yeah.
I don't like it. But how weird is that?
It's really
maybe your
weird.
text. So he's covering his ass for his wife.
Something's I don't know. Something's happening. Also,
they always reveal themselves.
Now in the news.
Another comedian?
They haven't updated it yet. It's 30 minutes ago. Comedian and actor Andy Dick arrested today in Orange County for felony sexual battery.
That is a evergreen tweet.
I was going to say. So that was in the 90s.
You can just
he's
go.
He's been taken into custody.
Oh my God.
He was in a national park. They received reports of a man who had been allegedly sexually assaulted. Apparently, he did it on video on a YouTube channel. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
He's currently being held on $25,000 bail.
I'm sorry, what?
The victim is in the hospital.
On YouTube? We couldn't show the Will Smith slap. How
Wait.
did that get on YouTube?
Wait, Andy Dick assaulted somebody in a national park and then like, sexually
I don't
assaulted
know. They
them?
don't. They said this is a developing story. Continue to refresh the page for updates.
I've talked to Andy Dick a couple of times.
Andy Dick, we were in a seminar with him briefly.
Briefly, he didn't come back. He
No.
went for one night. It was it's an interesting guy. I have heard stories, and he's one of those guys you hear stories about throughout the years, and whether it's all hearsay anyway, but whether it's true or not, they're the wildest, craziest.
It was a live stream.
He was live streaming a sexual
An
assault.
adult male was at a
From the park?
campground facility in O'Neill Regional Park in California.
phone.
However, a YouTube channel titled Captain Content RV captured the arrest and the events that led to the arrest.
Our next show
Okay.
is going to be featured on.
The man has accused Andy Dick of molesting him in his sleep.
I'm sorry, what? In the campground? I'm sorry. Wait. So wait. Is this the same guy that said that the steamy stuff keeps showing up my computer?
Yeah, hold on. This guy's been busy on the internet.
Is that what's going on? Because
The guy said to the police, and it's on the live stream as well, that he was in bed and he smelled certain parts of his body. He had been in the other RV with Andy, and the last thing I remember, we were on the phone, and then he wakes up.
I'm sorry. Go
lost
back.
already.
Go back.
Hold
go
on,
back,
I'm going
go
to get
back.
to it. I'm going to get to that again because it didn't make sense. It still won't, but. And then he wakes up in the other RV and smelled parts of myself, and they smell like artificial smells. The streamer then alleged that he had lotion or lube-like substance in his butt. Around the 5:29 mark of the live stream, JJ, the victim, attempts to confront Dick, but the comedian appears more concerned with his drugs.
Sounds like Dick confronted him. Boom, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
Did
Hell,
you
is this
take my
Is this
cocaine?
on right here?
Did you take my cocaine? 5:29 mark. Then he's can be heard asking Andy Dick, "Why did you assault me while I was sleeping?" Anyway,
He was already there, though. That right? They
They were already hanging
That's
out
what I-
together.
right.
There was lube available.
There was body parts smelling of something. familiar.
Wait,
He
I'm
was
more
familiar.
concerned
By the way,
how
this is
he
a weird-
smelled his own butthole.
This is for here's
How
the thing.
did he smell his own butthole to
I
see
smelled
that
parts of my
there's-
bodies, and they smelled like
I'm
synthetic.
flexible, but not that flexible.
But here's the
That's
weirdest
amazing.
thing. Like, so what was so I think the live stream made this guy. Hey, whoa, Andy, my butthole smells like lavender. What?
I think he sobered up, yeah, and was like, "Oh shit, yeah."
Oh,
Yeah. Though this was on camera. Oh right,
yeah.
cocaine, hell of a drug.
Man.
So there's a live stream out there somewhere, I guess, unless they've pulled it because it's evidence. But this was all happening. So that
And we get
seminar
bugged
didn't
because
take.
I mentioned COVID once.
What I'm
Yeah,
saying
right.
is the seminar didn't take.
Or it did, and he's really living his perfect
Super
life.
excited to tell you that this episode is brought to you by Truff
Yes!
Hot Sauce. We have missed Truff talking about them every month. And we are we still talk about them every month.
yeah.
We just haven't on
Every
the
night.
podcast.
Last night we actually used Truff to. So you made these amazing crab cakes that you make, and then Ray made the sauce. What did you call it? A remoulade. She made a remoulade.
But I
called
was
it a
making
remoulade
it-
ding dong because I know what the
So
hell it
I
was.
do this healthier version. It's my mom's recipe for baked crab cakes. But anyway, so I made this remoulade sauce, and before he got home, I hear him in my head always saying, "You know what would make that a little bit better? Everything I make, you know what would just take this up a notch?" And it always annoys me. So I went ahead and just put it in because I knew he was going to say that, and it was awesome.
It did. And you just put enough in so as we eat
Yeah.
the crack, it just snuck up on you, and it had that nice sting, that nice little bit of sting. Oh, Truff,
Yep.
everything. French fries. I get French fries on my turkey burgers.
You have to have it on French fries. There's no other way. My favorite is the white truffle hot sauce.
Yep.
They now have a hotter white truffle because they had the black truffle, the white truffle, and the hotter.
Yep.
Well, now they have a hotter white truffle sauce.
I don't know if they need that.
It's I
awesome.
love
the
that
mayonnaise
one.
is crazy.
that
The
mayonnaise is
truffle
great.
oil is awesome.
Truffle oil we use that when we get our raviolis.
Butternut squash ravioli
Mm-hmm.
that's already made. You take it out of the freezer, defrost it, boil that, and then drain it, put a little truffle oil from truff, fresh ground salt and pepper, and some chili flakes.
Guys, to this day, so we've been working with this company for, I don't know, over a year now.
Since not long after you got here, right?
Has it been a while? It's been a little
Maybe.
while. Maybe a year and a half. I would tell you, it's still by far my favorite hot sauce than anything. And it's funny because I have never in my life. Here's the thing. Here's how anti hot sauce I was. Not even anti. I just didn't use a lot.
You never, in all the time I've known you, never
we would
had
burn
a
out.
sauce
I
that
never
you used.
finished.
Yeah.
In my life, I've never
Yeah.
finished a bottle of hot sauce until Truff.
This was
and
the
now I'm
first
like,
time.
and I'm
Water diluted.
I'm water.
So,
I'm like, come on, man.
He does.
Come
he
on,
does
man.
do
I just
that.
need a couple more drops of Truff, bro.
We have it pretty bad.
Can't
The
be an end to
mayonnaise,
it.
highly recommend the mayonnaise, the hotter mayonnaise. They're both good, but the hotter one is like an aioli, and that's good on fries too. It's
Yeah.
awesome on
It
sandwiches.
also makes a sandwich a turkey cheese with like,
Stupid.
if you build a good sandwich. Like it reminds me of when I was a
We
kid.
actually have all four kinds of hot sauce now. We have travel size of those little glass
Packets.
bottles, which you can buy in a 4-pack. We have
Packets to
tear
travel with.
packets
We have a box of little.
in his suitcase that stay
Don't-
in his.
He's just getting madder. as you're telling him
Okay,
this.
that stay in his suitcase. We have both kinds of pasta sauce.
Yep.
We have both mayonnaise. I think we
And
have
oil, yeah.
everything that they make.
Yes.
Actually, and we use it religiously
For
so-
Thanksgiving, the last Thanksgiving we had, I made grilled cheese turkey sandwiches and put the truff mayonnaise
Oh,
and mixed it in.
Oh,
my God.
come
It was so
on.
good.
so it's hot and gooey
Guys,
with the
guys,
cheese.
by the way, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Will this stop being an ad about 2 minutes ago? It became a group therapy.
I'm hungry. Get 15% off site-wide. So all that stuff that we just talked about, plus free shipping if you use promo code Titus at truff.com. 15% off of everything at Truff, TRUFF as in fire.com. Promo code Titus. You cannot go wrong. And it
will
is
not-
a
you-
killer gift.
you will not be
It's also
disappointed.
a killer gift for showing up if you go to a party at someone's house, or, everybody brings wine. Everybody. And this kind of gets old. This is such a cool thing to show up
that's
with.
a great idea. You show up with that truff box, that white truffle box, and you go, and then people are like, "Can I try some of that?" That's a great idea.
We've gotten friends hooked on it. We
Yep.
gave Zach some for his birthday.
Here's how good it is, and then we'll move on because we've really overdone
Yeah,
this.
it's over. Yeah.
People, you put it on, and they go eat something, and they go, and they look at it, they go. That's how good it is.
And they go, "You made this?" That's right.
Excellent.
Let's talk about the economy. So, can you pick up some economic numbers? So, what's going on right now is McConnell, Pompeo, Kevin McCarthy, everybody's going that the economy is because of Joe Biden, gas prices up by Joe Biden. And I never get up that I pointed out the store shelves were empty during Trump. We couldn't get toilet paper. You guys couldn't run anything. We have 6% growth and we have 3.6 unemployment. They added 8 million jobs. What are you talking about? I get it. I just filled my truck up. It was expensive. I was like, holy crap, this is wrong. But is that Biden doesn't control this gas spigot. He doesn't control it.
And I think he does, doesn't he? Don't
Well-
they think
Well,
he does?
but remember prices spiked during the Iraq War when W was still president, and people said, "Oh, Bush can't handle gas problems," and then the Republicans was like, "It's not they were saying then it's not the president."
Yeah, but they're idiots. They don't remember what they said or what the
I know,
facts
but
are.
I think Democrats do that too. I think
agree.
all the
I
Democrats,
agree.
including you, blamed Bush for those gas prices, and now we're saying, hey,
No.
it's not the president's fault. So I think if everybody could just quit being a dick, this country would work a lot better.
did
And
it
I mean
first.
Andy Dick.
I did it first, and then I looked it up, and you can't. Saudi Arabia just gave Jared Kushner $2 billion, so they're refusing to increase their output. Now do you guys know we're energy neutral now when it comes to gas and oil? We produce as much as we buy, which doesn't make sense to me. Then why don't we just keep our own shit?
Yeah, right.
Well,
Why?
the problem is because Russian oil, because the oil that the 3% we were getting from oil, some companies need because it's really high in, it's like a high in, not acids. What do they call it? Like not nail polish. It's high in like cleaners,
Acetone?
something like that. Whatever. It's something like that. So that
Truff?
we have sweet Brent crude or whatever. Our oil is nicer and lighter. Theirs is
So
heavier
it's like
for
wine,
for heavier equipment. Yeah, for
like a cab. Theirs is more of a cab,
Yes,
where
they have-
ours is
yes.
more of a Pinot.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. I didn't know that there were varying.
I didn't either until I read the
Okay.
thing. So And now, and here's the problem about inflation. Yes, inflation sucks, 8%. Although they did say this last month, it slowed, like it was going like this, and it's leveled off now. It's going to start turning around. But the rest of the world is having this exact same thing. It's not just we're having inflation and France and everybody else isn't. Everything went like crazy, and they're having the highest gas prices they've ever had in Europe. They're having higher food prices. Ukraine, by the way, was basically, 'cause you guys may not know this, but the California Central Valley produces a third of the vegetables for America. Third. Yeah. That's what California does.
Oh yeah.
So because so the California Valley does that. Well, that's what Ukraine is to Europe, and so now Ukraine is broken because of dipshit, because of evil dipshit, and so they're not. So there's going to be food shortages.
Yeah.
Do you guys get that? Does everybody get like there's?
Well, and also it's.
By the way, just so you know, sometimes before I go to bed, Ray will go, do you know we're going to have food shortages? Like things are about to get crazy. I'm like, I can't.
I've been reading about it.
You're doing that? Now you're doing that?
Yeah. I told you I was buying 25-pound bags of rice from Costco.
Oh, that's right.
We're going to have a lot of truff on
doing
rice.
doom scrolling too?
By the way, even with just plain white
I'm not
rice
doing
with truff,
doomsday.
awesome.
I'm not saying that it's doomsday, but I am saying that realistically there's going to be a breakdown in the food supply, and we're already seeing it. My dad, especially, and so I have family in smaller areas. We don't experience it as quickly in these bigger cities, but my dad has been complaining about certain things always being out. He can't get.
I'm just saying, don't tell.
Oh,
that's
good point.
I'm just saying that.
No, I'm good.
You don't need to pile it on.
I see.
I'm
Got it.
Listen,
Keep it to myself.
Listen, if
Got
this shit
it.
goes sideways, I look good in a mohawk. I'm fine with it.
Yes.
No, and no, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah, so there's going to be a breakdown, but also, I mean, there's so many other things. So we were shut down for a year and a half, so nothing was being produced.
Nothing's being made, right?
A lot of other countries that produce things were shut down.
On top of that,
also COVID, right? All of the truck drivers that died from COVID because they wouldn't get vaccinated
or decided they didn't want to see their family. They said, I got to see my kids for a year and a half. Now I'm not going to go on the road for the rest of my life. And they quit. We're actually
a lot of truck drivers quit.
35,000 job openings.
They get screwed over. They get royally screwed over. John Oliver did an episode that it was like, wow, holy crap. We have a couple of truck drivers that listen to this if they are still truck drivers.
Get screwed over. Basically, they buy a truck or they lease it from. They have to. So the company that hires them, they then lease their truck from that company. So all the money they make goes back to the company to pay for the truck that they leased. So they make John Oliver broke it down. Some truckers are making like $7 an hour driving a truck, and so all those guys quit.
So they quit. So right now, no one. It's a problem. There's a truck driver shortage. They can't get people. Nobody's applying for that job. And so we can grow all the vegetables and stuff in California. And if we can't get them anywhere, they're just going to rot. It's just going to sit here. So,
well, I read that, and we had like over COVID because of the docks, because everything. So because of COVID, we were keeping all those ships offshore in Long Beach. So there was like 200 full on loaded container ships sitting in the out in the ocean. And those have been getting unloaded now, so it's increasing.
Yeah, but a lot of people, it was too late. My uncle was one of them. My uncle was running a business, and all of the stuff that he needed, without going into too much detail, was sitting there right off of Long Beach for 2-3 months. And I finally asked him a few weeks ago, I said, what happened with that? Did you get your stuff? And he goes, it was too late. The deal fell through. I walked away from it. He just closed the company because 3 months it sat there.
And so we know somebody who did that. How many other people did that happen to? So
also Ukraine and Russia produce 30% of the wheat.
Yeah,
globally.
For Europe. Yeah, for Europe. That's what I was saying. I was saying like and then so now they're saying that now they're gonna have energy problems now. Putin did one weird thing. He started this war in winter, which was dumb because his guys don't know how to fight in winter, which Finland showed them a while back. Finland kicked their ass. So then he cut off the gas and oil, right? Now it's warming up, and they're going to be fine now. We're good.
Right.
Yeah, the sun's out. We're good. Plus, we don't have any fucking buildings to live in, dipshit.
Highly recommend just stocking up. Don't be alarmed. Just stock up. We do that also by using ButcherBox. This episode brought to you by ButcherBox.
Hey, when the apocalypse is upon you, call ButcherBox. They can still get the mail to you. Okay.
I bet you ButcherBox still
We'll get
could.
you they'll hire an Armageddon dune buggy. They'll have like
I bet you.
a Mad Max
car, yeah.
They're pretty. It's amazing.
It's chicken and beef.
You'll
It takes
hear
out the animals and delivers it.
all shipping is slowed down. Expect delays. You hear that on the news, and then ButcherBox. All of a sudden, you hear
Shows that-
something hit your front door, and it's like, "Are you for real?" It's crazy.
There's just steam coming off it because it still gets cold. It's so packed in ice.
You've got dry ice, which you can also have fun with after you unload the meat into your garage freezer. This deal that they're doing now is my favorite one. It's
a better
amazing.
one than the past.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
But if you don't know what it is, it's a subscription service. You can go and pick your own box, which is what we do. We just drag and drop, or you can pick boxes that they've already selected for you. If you're busy and you ain't got time for this, they have everything. It's like
extra
meat
stuff you have to
porn.
watch.
If you sometimes I'll sit in bed at night and just scroll through because I don't even know some of these things. And that's what's kind of cool. I've tried some things because I'll see it on their site. I'll go search it and be like, oh, that sounds really good. Yep. And then I'll put it in the box. And it's something that I've never made before that I'm now making. So it's also broadening my horizons. What's your favorite?
Oh, the steak, for sure.
Their steak is awesome.
It's pretty good.
It's amazing. Every month they send it to you. It gets delivered to your door, so you don't have to go anywhere. No antibiotics or added hormones, which is my favorite part of it. The chicken just tastes better. Different than everyone's.
Yep.
Pack fresh, ship frozen, so you don't have to go to the grocery store too. Don't have to spend gas. High quality, 100% grass-fed beef, or free-range organic chicken, pork-raised, crate-free, and wild-caught seafood. So if you're looking at price-wise, you can also save money during these times because it's less than $6 per meal on average, and you don't have to drive anywhere. So kick off grilling season right with ButcherBox. Sign up at butcherbox.com/Titus to receive a free grilling bundle in your first order.
We're home this month, so I can actually take some stuff out, defrost. Psst.
It's time to start
It's
grilling.
start
Yes,
to grill, yeah.
spring is upon
Plus,
us.
I fixed the diving board.
So
did you?
yes, he did. Brand new. Yeah. Brand new. So you'll get the grilling. What is in the grilling pack? You both ask.
Pray tell me.
I love this deal. You'll get 2 10-ounce ribeyes for Highlander when he comes over, 5 pounds of chicken drumsticks so you can make wings, and a pack of burgers for free. So that's the grilling pack. You get that completely for free. That's butcherbox.com/Titus to claim this deal. So make sure you're not promo coding, you're slashing Titus. Butcherbox.com/Titus.
Yeah, the chicken. Best chicken.
Yeah.
Best chicken.
Dense, like it's denser.
What?
I don't know,
It's just higher quality, I guess.
It's not stringy. It's like
It's
again.
cleaner.
The ad has now turned into. Let's talk about. No, the ads. We got it.
And can I just throw this out there? If you grill chicken breasts or do wings, do you know what would make the best? First of all, what would make the best wings is if you use truff hot sauce. You toss the wings in a mix with that, and then when you grill it, it'll candy a little bit. Oh my goodness!
And then you lay down in your Sunday grass.
We're gonna get to that actually.
Even on chicken, I'll brush it on chicken.
Save that thought because we're going there.
There's another thing too. I keep seeing this weird thing, and it's like everybody's freaking the fuck out on the news. Breaking news.
I said this today. It's not breaking, Bob. It's not breaking. It broke yesterday.
We've been talking about it for 3 days.
Yeah.
It's not breaking for 3 days.
It makes me insane. And they got addicted to that during Trump because it really was.
They're addicted to Trump.
Yes, they are.
They're addicted to Trump to the point where they're even talking about every time some guy he loses or wins in whatever primary is going on right now, they talk about Trump. And you said it. You go. Someone said.
I said this to you today. I was mad about it.
Someone said, "You guys you got to stop talking about this idiot, or you're going to make him more famous again."
Oh, because it was Michael Steele last night said, because every day the headline, the chyron is, does Trump's influence still matter? Is Trump backed candidate, blah, 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 in Pennsylvania? Trump backed this every day, all day. We got to see if he's still powerful. Well, you're already setting yourself up for failure if they do win the primary. It could just be because people like them better, but okay. So
But also-
Michael Steele came on and he goes, he's either way, he hasn't lost. He said he's won either way, no matter what happens, because you guys are talking about him every day, all
Constantly.
day. And that's all
and
he
not,
wants.
And not talking about 70% vaccinated, not talking about 6% growth, not talking about
No.
3.6 unemployment. In fact, they go on and they go, well, inflation's really high out in the Biden administration. Hey, fuck, you know why inflation's high? Because everybody's spending money again. We were on the plane, we got in the airport last time, and I was like, I've never seen LAX that packed.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Things are kind
flying.
of coming back.
Yeah, everything's
Yeah.
coming
Honestly,
back.
the
and you-
only place I hear about the growth and the unemployment and stuff is here from you. And then I looked it
just
up
look
and
it
I'm
up.
like, oh,
Yeah.
that's so.
Yeah.
Nobody's
'Cause I get
reporting
scared. I'm
that.
like, well, how fucked are things?
Yeah.
And I go, wait, things aren't fucked at all. What are you
No.
always talking
Yeah.
about?
Yep.
But the baby formula thing, like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like the world has come apart. So they're blaming
I
Biden for
never
the baby
had
for everything.
formula.
Huh?
I never had formula. Is
I
it
didn't
a
either.
thing?
No, I think I had a boob. I had a full-on boob. I had God's formula.
Are
All
you
right.
sure you were breastfed?
Yeah,
Because
Mom.
you strike me as not.
That's why I
I
like-
like that you said, yeah, Mom, as opposed to some other lady.
That's why I like. Well, I was going to say though. I also I think that was the first time I actually drank alcohol too, because she was hammered all the time.
Oh.
I'm a little tipsy. Hey, mama.
That was one of those screw-on nipples to a bottle.
She had a tap. Nipple taps.
Okay,
Oh,
hold
And her
on.
boob was always in a brown paper bag. It was weird. It was so weird.
Mom drank a lot. Did you get the point, everybody? She drank. She a drinker. A drinker. So, so the baby formula thing. Like, there was one of the factories that made it.
Yeah.
You should look it up, because I guess there was a contamination and they could no longer sell the baby formula. So the baby formula is running out. But people are like, Biden administration, and the way the news puts it, it's like, when it happened during Trump and we couldn't get toilet paper, that was one thing. And now all the stores here, I walk in the stores are packed. So I don't understand what's going on. But now baby formula, it's like there's an extra added thing when they bring a child into it. That's why that's why they always call people pedophiles. Although then we find out anybody who says pedophile too much seems to have child porn on their computer.
That's what I mean. It's
Have you
like,
noticed
come
that?
on. All you people screaming, all of them. They're
Yes.
all, I mean, Matt Gaetz, dude, you can't call other people pedophiles.
You can't. Yeah, right. We have you Venmoing
It's
in
because
Candyland money.
Yeah. Ongoing supply chain disruptions tied to the coronavirus pandemic have fueled shortages of a wide range of consumer goods, including pet food. My dad has been complaining about cat food forever.
Wait, what did you say? Because of why? Supply
The
chains
pet food
because
is because of the
COVID?
outbreak of bird flu. Yeah. So there's a lesser availability of cheap meat for pet food. But the lack of baby formula has worsened since February because the manufacturer Abbott issued a recall for products made at their Michigan plant and sold under Similac, Alimentum, and Elecare labels. Clearly, I don't have kids. So 4 children fell ill with bacterial infections, so they had to do a big recall.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's not good.
How hard is the sanitized powder? How hard is
Do you know what's really weird is that it's not all powder, right? What's really weird is that that recall happened. There was a bacteria issue, but then they're at the same time, they're not really talking about, we had a bird flu outbreak. And that's why there's no pet food. It seems weird that we've got all these viruses.
Doesn't seem weird at
and
all. You know what
They're
I
all
mean?
the same
Bacteria
store, so
popping
that's
up.
why-
They said this was going to happen in climate change. They said.
Not they, George Carlin.
Not George Carlin. No, every scientist. I remember the Weekly Reader. I remember being in like 4th grade or 3rd grade. We had a Weekly Reader, and they were like, climate change is coming. And I was a child at that point. They did nothing about it. So what they're saying now is like Lake Mead, all this stuff. So because the climate's changing and heating up, well, all this bacterium is actually getting more alive, and there's
it
things
has to
changing.
do
Yes,
with-
it's
Great.
changing everything. It's changing everything. So there's going to be new diseases coming out of nowhere, people, that's going to devastate part of the population.
If you have a baby that survives on formula and you can't get it, send us an email, because I can't promise, but I can currently get it through Amazon Fresh delivery like I was doing during COVID. I wasn't getting baby formula, but I'll certainly try and send it to you. If you have a baby that has no food, please send us an email on ChristopherTitus.com and I'll see what I can do. I'm pretty good with that kind of
Or
stuff.
whip out that boob. You got one or two. You got a couple of choices.
Some people can't. some people can't breastfeed, and some people just really don't want to.
I'm just being weird.
Kind of not your place to say anything, which I think you got right after you said that.
I got it. Like,
I saw your face
hey,
like,
wow. My brain went, dude!
Not my wheelhouse.
What are you doing, man? Especially all the women a little more sensitive the last
Right
couple
now,
weeks.
I was gonna say,
everybody's
bad
a little
time.
more-
Bad
cranked up.
time.
Oh, you can tell women what to do with their bodies? Is that what you want to do? A white man? Is that what you want to do? Okay. That's what we need. We need a superhero. A superhero that just kills old white men who want women to do what they want them to do.
yes.
It's called Wonder Woman, right? I think she's called Wonder Woman.
No, I think that superhero would burn shit down a little bit more than Wonder Woman. I think that superhero is going to be
We'll
done.
call it Kill Martin.
Yeah.
It's the kill.
I mean, keep us down, keep keeping us down. Eventually, it's just like with Black Lives Matter and stuff. I mean, eventually, tide is going to start to turn. We're going to have a African American female as vice president.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have all of these. We're going to have the first U.S. Supreme Court Judge Ketanji Brown. Jackson going to start to turn, and you're going to be sorry. Same with women. Eventually, just I may not be here for it, but it's going to happen. So maybe you should be nice. That's all I'm saying. Just be nice.
Well, the problem is
if you show me one more fucking ED commercial in the middle of trying to strip me of my reproductive rights, I am going to go burn some shit down.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It's really, really rich.
Well, don't you think that every man needs to actually deal with because we didn't get to talk about this because we didn't want to burn it during Brian Regan was on this one.
Oh, yeah.
But don't you think that they should actually if you listen, guys, it's so funny. Everybody is so fucking PC. I'm just being a comedian.
Yeah.
I think all men need to be. I think Viagra needs to be criminalized. God has said to you that you're not supposed to make any more kids. God has told you.
Yes. If it's God's will.
It's God's will. That's
they
right.
interviewed a woman who was protesting, and the interviewer on CNN, I think it was, were you with me? No, you weren't with me. Asked her, what about ectopic pregnancies? And the woman said, whatever is meant to be will be God's will. It's God's will. They said, but the mother will die if they don't abort that. Well, then that's God's will.
God, I hope she gets an ectopic pregnancy.
Well, she was older, of course, and bitter. But that's exactly right. It's God's will that your penis not work anymore.
God's will, man. And by the way, masturbation, dude, you got to go to jail. Why? You just killed a million people. You just killed a million possible people. What are you doing?
Well, they're very careful to say it only starts at conception. But also you're looking at people with frozen embryos and stuff. I mean, people freeze a lot, right?
Yeah, so that means that so that means we have to bring all of those to term now?
Uh-huh. Yeah, you got to wake them all up, unfreeze them all.
All right, guys, everybody
They're
not
not
with a garbage can. Ding, 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 ding.
Hold on. Okay. No, it's not frozen babies, guys. It's okay. It's not okay. Never mind. It is.
You
frozen
call
babies.
yourself a fetus? Get up! Start replicating cells. Let's go! What is your problem, dipshit? Start turning into a baby!
Baby pile!
This episode also brought to you by. This goes with Highlander's idea about we're kind of on a roll here. So we've got Truff on the wings from ButcherBox, and now what are we gonna do?
Picnic
We are going to
on the nicest lawn you've ever seen. And how was that lawn created? With products from Sunday.
Yes. I love this company, and
you've become a
here's what's cool about
farmer.
it. Yes, I am a farmer, and Groucho farms with me.
Yep.
I am achieving things that I never could achieve before I found Sunday. His hair is really jacked, and he's sleepy, Dad. So again, comes to your door. You're not driving a bunch of places to get what you need. They have everything. They even have different kinds of trees and plants now that you can get, fruit trees even. And it's all because you send in your soil sample. I go on my account. It's completely broken down what my soil is like, what it needs, what will grow here.
So if you want a certain tree, you can say, I want a
but they'll
new
tell
palm
you,
tree, put it here.
But they'll tell you whether or not
it will survive
here.
Right.
Because
will it work in the soil?
So here's what's interesting. So California is in a drought. and they are limiting our water now, how many times a week you can water. Well, I just got from Sunday one of the pouches that you attach and you put it on the lawn, and it's I forget exactly what it's called, but it's something like heat resistor or something like that, and it helps your lawn hold in moisture longer. So they're taking into consideration the fact that
now sending us stuff because of the drought to help us. So they've actually changed
to
it
help
up
preserve your
good company.
Isn't that cool?
Just so you guys know, we're not playing. Like these companies, all three companies we talked about, we use all the time. And we this week specifically, just so you guys know, our ads, we don't sell anything that we don't use. We had 3 offers this month, and I was like,
not we, he.
Because you're a mercenary.
Totally.
I'm like, no.
3 or 4, you said no, and I had to decline.
Yeah, I don't want people to be. I want them to be happy with what they get.
Well, one of them was an ED product, but I didn't even bring to you. But what I love about it too,
and the other was a coat hanger. What was it?
especially given climate change and the like. It's not toxic chemicals like most products are that you buy to take care of your lawn or plants. It's got even their pest control stuff. They really use. It's really interesting. Like I've said before, molasses is in one of the things that you spray on, and it's like safe for the dogs, safe for kids.
Well, that's what I'm worried. When we started getting stuff, remember that was our big thing. Will the dogs be okay?
Seaweed, iron, and molasses. Those are some of them I couldn't remember. They're actually giving you they'll tell me what nutrients my soil needs right now. This time of year. So anyway,
that's so cool.
We're now having our wings from ButcherBox in truff sauce. We're
backyard,
laying on our lawn that is like green carpet. Sunday is offering you 20% off. Now's the time. Now is the time to start because it's spring. Full season plans start at just $129, and then you get 20% off of that when you go to getsunday.com/Titus at checkout. That's 20% off your custom plan at getsunday.com/Titus. And it is customized to you. It's all based on your exact property, your soil sample, and then they give you what you need.
Since we started using these guys last year, it has changed our that hedge next to the lawn because I went down and
everything is so much better.
And then the grass is thick except for this stupid Sunday. Please come up with moles and gophers.
We need you too.
We need some mole and gopher stuff.
And it's okay if you want to suddenly use something toxic. Maybe give us something that they really like a treat bag, and I'll put it in racist, angry Karen's yard.
There you go.
Who turned out to be a gay man. So
thought it was bioterrorism for you. There you go.
Well, give us treat bags to lure them somewhere else.
Yep.
I'll be okay with that. GetSunday.com/Titus.
Great stuff. So I just want everybody to know that we are doing better. It doesn't feel like it now. You know what makes me mad is that Biden took over and all of a sudden people are like, it's not done today. It's been 16 months. It's been 16 months, and the man has passed infrastructure. He's actually we've
dropped the national deficit.
He took the deficit down 1.5 trillion.
Yeah.
People keep saying, how are you going to afford to pay for Ukraine? I'll tell you this. If I save 1.3 trillion, I can spend a couple billion over here.
By the way,
I'm going to buy hey, Ukraine, get yourself something nice.
This is just updated. So UK has signed a security pact with Sweden. This is all just updated live. And Russian forces have been pushed back from the second largest city of Kharkiv. So Ukrainian officials have told U.S. intelligence that their troops have now pushed back Russian forces from several villages surrounding the city of Kharkiv.
This is such a weird...
We also passed the $40 billion new package in military and humanitarian aid.
He saved $1.5 trillion of the deficit.
We're at $4.5 billion so far.
So so here's the thing that's going on right now, and this is what I was listening to the radio on the way over before the podcast, and one guy came on and he said, here's the problem. And it was talking about how Putin, it's what JFK was afraid of. with Khrushchev. Is that getting you? What's happening is we're so over. Like they're done. This is the Russian army was supposed to be these bad motherfuckers, and what ended up happening was the Ukrainians, who were just farmers. They're farmers. Yeah. First of all, funny shit I ever saw was when that dude with a tractor hooked up a tank, and just pulled it away. I was like, dude.
When people have nothing else to lose, when they're staring down you taking everything from them anyway, and a lot of those people remember what it was like before, and then felt freedom.
You can't give people freedom for 30 years and then say we're going to stop that.
They
They're like,
actually
nah, I'd rather die.
retook villages today and put the Russian forces on the defense, trying to stop them advancing back on them.
So here's what Kennedy said.
They also, I was going to tell you this, they pushed back Moscow's forces in a counterattack that could signal a shift in the momentum of the war, and they shut gas flow on a route through Russian-held territory.
That's right. They actually shut down. The Ukrainians shut down Russians' gas, which means Russia. That's how they're paying for the war. They're still.
So it's flipped now. They're
well in this area.
They were
at
actually.
least.
There was a bunch of weird fires in Russia near the border. There was a bunch of weird fires at plants and shit. Like shit just
that had like blue and yellow flags on top of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's weird.
But the tags are all in blue and yellow.
Well, some idiot at I think it was New York Times, published that our intelligence has helped Ukraine kill multiple generals, Russian generals,
and sunk to Moscow.
And I'm like, which means we're at war.
Means intelligence.
That's what I kept saying.
Yeah, intelligence means shushy.
Yeah. Well, but it doesn't matter though. But here's the problem: is that here's how weird things are now in our country. I remember a time when something like this happened, we came together. After 9/11, I remember it. By the way, all this craziness with Trump, people go, Reagan. No, because after 9/11, we were like, we all came together. Bruce Springsteen released The Rising. We were together. And then this all happened since 2016. Since Trump started getting on television and started doing this, there's this faction of people. Yeah. Two things happened. Well, let me tell you what Kennedy said. Kennedy said he was worried. He said the one thing he was scared of is that because Russia is not going to be as strong and we can devastate them, that they may instead, because the one thing they can't do is lose. Putin can't lose. So he may escalate to nukes. That's what Kennedy was afraid of. What was I talking about before that?
His son said the other day, because he came back.
Whose son?
JFK.
Oh, right.
His son came back.
Oh, yeah. JFK Jr.'s back, right.
So he made an announcement. And because.
Well, so today.
We've lost our shit, though, because we are no longer together on this. So you now have people, New York Times, you have right-leaning media doing everything they can to do one thing. Fuck up Biden, even if it fucks up Ukraine,
I'm so tired
even
of
if
that.
it gets us into a world war.
Well, you've got these assholes in the House voting against any aid to Ukraine too. It's and acting like and Ukraine are the criminals. It's exhausting.
I still don't know why we had 8 of our congressmen go to Russia on July 4th last year.
We haven't talked about the Madison Cawthorn.
Oh my God, the
video. But again, people protesting too much. You didn't hear the whole thing last week?
Oh no.
Well, somebody's had it with him, and I think Rick Wilson was the one that said it's Republicans. They're tired of a problematic person. They're going to take his ass out and put in somebody a little more.
But they're fine with Boebert and Green.
Don't you think that they would? Well, I think they'd rather be done with them too. But apparently, Marjorie Taylor Greene, every time she says something insane, raises more money than anybody.
Yep.
Yes, a video was.
Is that the same thing that's happening with
released.
the Supreme Court leak? People are just like, what these fucking we got to stop this.
Well, it looks like that was also a conservative.
No, no, that's not. No, you conservative leaked it? I don't think so.
So Madison Cawthorn video. He's been fighting against gay LGBTQ rights.
He's saying that they don't need it. Why do they need
fighting against women, fighting against everything.
So his cousin, who's also his scheduler,
and his
which
aide.
I didn't know was and his aide. There's video of them in the car together where they're joking around, and one of them's got his hand on his crotch.
And then in the middle of the conversation, the cousin
puts his hand on his crotch.
Reaches over on the video. He's obviously videoing it. And
it's just fucking frat boy shit. Well,
squeezes his wiener.
The next video.
Wait, is that the one where he's dressed like in drag?
No,
that's another one. With those women, that's something else.
Here's another one. Then
then there's video of him
naked
in bed with his scheduler, and he gets up and he on his arms because
and the scheduler
Wait,
is
that's
asleep.
the cousin,
sleeping.
though. Wait, did I just
Cousin,
hear
yes,
that?
and he starts thrusting
someone
his
else is
crotch
videoing it.
in his face.
Naked. And then the guy doing the video says, dude, you got, well, however he says it, you got, your dick is on his face. It's on his face. And he's on his arms humping the guy's face completely naked. Like
It's Andy Dick job.
totally naked. And he put out a video. So he's put out, and
Nice,
then
nice
there's,
callback, dude.
then there's pictures
You're
of
back, Highlander.
of them lying
wearing off.
together, like in their little bathing suits, like with their heads on each other's chest, holding hands and looking up at the camera. I mean, it's a lot. So he comes out. I don't know if it's still there, but at the pinned tweet on his Twitter,
going after me.
yes. So he does a video and about it, saying it's rhinos going after him, or it's, you know, the liberal fringe, the radical left trying to take him down because he's seeking the truth. And then he goes, that video that they just released was just me doing a crass, funny prank. And everyone underneath is like, dude, don't admit it was you. Don't say the video's
I thought
real.
it was a deep fake. That's a deep.
No.
I go,
He
dude, that
admits it.
was. I go, dude, that wasn't a prank. That's you, bro.
Yeah.
That's you
why-
naked, putting your dick in another man's face. Sorry. Hey, listen, I've hung out with. I have got great friends. Some of my best friends in the world. I was never like, hey, dude, hey, you like my dick? I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with you.
So he was invited to cocaine orgies because he's into that shit.
It's just what I don't understand.
Shit.
When did we get to a place in this country where we've decided to elect the worst people, like Ted Cruz is one of them. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert. Lauren Boebert got. They're not even sure she got the GED. She said she got a GED. They're not sure she took it. So you've got all these people that we've now.
We're
pushed
sure
in.
she didn't get the GED.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
We've got all these people who are fucking morons. I mean, when she spells martial law wrong, and then she writes, she says the
M-A-R-S-H-A-L-L.
she said the Gestapo called the Gestapo the Gazpacho police.
Gazpacho.
I'm like, what the fuck? And I go, it's not just like a gaffe. It's not just.
Yeah.
You know, it's because Biden, I'll admit this. We were watching Biden today, and Biden's old. And like, there's a point where I'm like, he's got a stutter, and he's old, and he's trying to read, and he's probably tired as shit. And you got to remember, you got this guy who's now running the free world, who is every day has a new nightmare. Imagine the nightmare. I didn't know that when I was looking up for the Armageddon update. It said that what Trump did by ignoring COVID was twice a deep recession as the Great Recession. That's how far he took it down. So
And the deaths.
but here's what I don't get. What is going on with us as a society that these people are voting for the biggest dipshits? They're dipshits. They're idiots. They don't spell.
A
They
guy
don't write.
just got the nomination.
Right.
Who?
Was at January 6th.
Well, yes, that was yesterday. The day before, the guy who attempted to murder his wife, who was at the end of her chemo, he's in jail.
And
he
he
got the nomination
he won the
while
primary.
he's in jail for murdering his wife, who has cancer.
Holy shit.
And then in Kentucky, the guy that just won, the Trump-backed guy that just won, beat the reason that he Trump-backed the other guy is because the other guy that was running against him, Ray, said that the election, he was a Republican, so the election was fair,
Yes.
and he voted for Build Back Better.
Yes.
Build Back Better, that guy got like $600 million for Kentucky, and they voted him out. But stupid is winning. Fucking stupid is winning.
Because dipshit is mad. He did something for the country, not just party lines.
Right.
That's what made dipshit mad. And so he decided to endorse the other candidate because he's mad that he would vote for something that Joe Biden did. It's like, I'm exhausted. So we have our wings. They're in truff hot sauce. That would make some
Big C. I just took them off the grill. I'm walking over to the grass.
Sitting in the grass. And
Picnic.
what are you having? You know, probably when you have a barbecue day, you drink, right?
You know what I would need if I was drinking? I'd probably have to. I'll make sure I had some liquid IV.
You would have to have liquid IV
so I could drink more.
because exactly.
On tap.
Based on my recommendation, you would have a couple drinks and then have your liquid IV.
Just to mellow out. Yeah.
Mellow out and help you for the next day.
Hydrate.
I use this every day, and actually somebody just sent a picture Oh no, I posted it on Instagram. Said thanks Ray Bradley because they had the liquid IV and then the Waterloo sparkling water. So you could use any sparkling water. You don't need any. This is just my special drink in one of those big metal Starbucks cups.
Tell people.
Tons of ice. I mix the liquid IV and water in the bottom half, and then I fill it the rest of the way up with sparkling water, whatever flavor that goes with whatever flavor I'm having. So currently still have some Concord grape, which is and strawberry are my favorite.
It is quite refreshing.
And then depending, I'll use a grape or strawberry Waterloo. It is a very refreshing summer drink. And I'm not saying that if you wanted to add vodka, it would taste good. I may or may not know that.
May not know that. You know that.
But I know that.
But liquid IV, what it does for me is, like I'll have a headache and I'll do a liquid IV and it goes away. I will.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's. I sleep better. I always have. I have like 2 bottles every night. Sit on my drink. I usually drink while I'm asleep. And then in the morning I have one. We have so many. We have so much of it too.
The thing is that your body. We go through it so fast. Your body is 60% water, and so you think about that's how much all of your system needs to function optimally.
Like putting oil in the car.
Yes, exactly. So you get dehydrated, especially now that it's getting hot. You don't realize how much sodium is in foods and stuff too. So you get dehydrated and things stop working as well as they could, and you don't know why. Just certain things are kind of breaking down, like you saying you have headaches and stuff. My allergies are worse. I get like kidney pain, and it's a lot of it comes down to you need hydration. You need to be hydrated. Yep. So remember that, especially going into the warmer months. I use it after working out too. Some people use it before.
I do it.
You use it after.
I rode the bike for an hour today. In my little bottle container.
You did
liquid
IV. You did have that. What? Oh, you had watermelon. It hydrates you 2 times as fast than just water alone.
What?
So it helps you get that water back in faster. 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. It has 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, and C, which you need right now, especially. Premium ingredients, non-GMO, free from gluten, dairy, and soy. It's a game changer.
Listen,
is what I'll
we
say.
have now been using it constantly for 2 years. It's awesome. We have packs and packs at our house.
We travel with it. And if we forget to travel with it, we go and buy it while we're on the road because we can't do shows and stuff and not have it.
So if you travel too, there's little package. Here's the problem: if you travel, that going back in a plane, the air is bad. You're dehydrated. You're jumping time zones.
Yeah.
It helps me mellow out. So like I don't feel that raging tired that we feel like when we travel all the time.
It just helps you too with that rundown feeling. So grab Liquid IV in bulk. You can get it right now in bulk, these big bags at nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use promo code Titus at checkout. That's 25% off anything on their site. When you use promo code Titus at liquidiv.com, experience better hydration today. Liquidiv.com, promo code Titus. And I say this every time, but in case this is your first time hearing this, they have bundles on their website where you can get several bags and they're discounted, and then you can still use this 25% off of that. So it's a killer deal. That's what I did when I first used it. So liquidiv.com/Titus, promo code Titus.
Putties on the table.
I think the fact that are you done?
I am. Are you done?
I was just filling in because he usually goes, "Are you done?" The fact that everybody has access to media is probably a huge factor because
good or bad though?
Bad, because in previous generations, for you to take office for something, you had to go through it was a long process of like, you had to go to city council and then you had to do this, and then for you to like actually get in the news or get on TV.
You can get a million followers, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's a
and
good
now
point.
you can just, make a video and buy an ad on whatever Instagram, and you can run for something.
Thing is that Marjorie Taylor Greene, though, she doesn't even live. She was a carpetbagger. She didn't even live where there was nobody running for that seat. The reason she got elected because she was totally uncontested. The dude that's running against her is
where was it? Because there's like 3 or 4 people there. There's nobody.
Yes, there's a small town in Georgia. But like, how did that person? Like, this is bothering me because it's not their fault. Look, we've always had assholes. We've always had dipshits. It exists. but there's obviously a lot more ignorant dipshits that are voting for them. I mean, that, and someone was talking, I was listening to the radio on the way over, and someone was saying that there's parts of Kansas where these people are literally voting against their own interests.
Yeah.
They're voting for Rick Scott, and Rick Scott wants to raise your taxes $2,000 a year for people that make
and stop Medicaid
below 60,000. Yeah, and stop Medicaid and Social Security. And you guys are voting for him to own the libs. You're owning yourselves. You're playing yourself all the time, and I don't get it. Like, people always get mad at me. You're Titus, you liberal. I'm not a liberal. I am a factualist. I sit down and I go, where do I make the most money? Well, I now have 40 years of comedy. Guess where I make the most money? Whenever we've had a Democratic president. Where do I make? Where does my tax dollars go to things besides rich people and bombs and airplanes? When a Democrat's running stuff. And I'll tell you what. With what's going on in Los Angeles right now with all the homeless and stuff, I would like to see some of our tax. Look, if California is supposedly the 5th largest economy in the world, how the fuck is our mayor so shitty in Los Angeles that we have this kind of homeless problem?
It's crazy.
It's insane. Have you drive? It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so our mayor, what's his name? Garcetti, the worst mayor we've ever had in Los Angeles.
We just got a ballot yesterday.
And Villanueva, our sheriff,
Yikes.
is an evil prick, man. And we've got, and the thing is that there is parts of Los Angeles that are District 9. And nobody's doing anything
Actually, there are
about it.
most areas now of Los Angeles, even on Sunset Boulevard. I couldn't believe it. There are tent cities, and I'm like, this normally doesn't reach here, but it is. It's everywhere.
And by the way, I'll give this to Newsom too. Gavin Newsom, what are you guys doing? Like, at one point, and I'm talking help them figure it out, but I'd rather have all this money that California supposedly has in surplus going to clear up our streets and helping the homeless. That's a 2-for-1. Do you realize it's a 2-for-1, right? And when that happens, we all rise up together. That's what people don't quite understand. Like, they liberal. I don't know what it means. What woke? Well, I'm woke. That means you're fucking asleep. That means you're not paying attention to shit.
It's just they just hear words from
someone
and they parrot them, but they don't even think about what it actually means.
Right. Woke means I'm aware, awake, and paying attention. That's what it means.
I'm alert.
Exactly.
I'm seeing everything.
So, and I make more money. I make more money in the Democrats. I've checked it out. I've gone through it. I make more money. The money I do pay in taxes, at least it's going to help people. It's not going to $500 hammers to Lockheed. You know, it's not going to $2 trillion. We spent $2 trillion on a fighter jet that they can't use. They killed the program last year when Trump was president. They killed babe. It was $2 trillion, and it's all our tax money. And it's like, and so that we do it. Instead, what we do is we go, okay, Boeing, you have $2 trillion. We're gonna, all right, here's another contract. Do it better this time, and we give them more money. Mitch McConnell is in the top 6 people when it comes to oil money. Like oil, they give it to him, and I just, we're so corrupt. Fuck, we're so corrupt.
Besides social services, there's really no money. There's no monies in solving the homeless crisis, right?
No,
there's no money.
So what's the incentive?
There is though. Here's the problem. There is, because what's happening now. Property values, everything. If these people put that's a long-term thinking. No. Let's put. All right. Let's do this. Let's put it to the rich people who are bitching about it. Me being me, I guess I would include myself in that. Cleaning it up. What ends up happening is the property values where they're not there anymore go up. What else also happens is crime rates go down, which more money. On top of that, if we get these people help, get them medicated, and get them to a place, then we have more like useful members of society. You know, they're more apt to reunite with their families if they get cleaned up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you work with them, so
it's so more nuanced than that. But yeah,
true. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a bonus to getting it to helping, and I'm fine with my tax dollars going to help. I'm fine with it. You know, don't kill me with taxes, but don't give it to fucking Exxon either.
The thing is, too, is that you
realize how much money
definitely see homelessness. You know, they know where cops are more friendly to them being on the streets and leaving garbage and piling stuff up. And that's why you see them move to those areas like Portland and Los Angeles and stuff. I mean, they know.
It doesn't help anybody. And what it does is, all it does is, let's say, okay, they're being nice to them. Seattle was like this too. Seattle was really, Seattle. And I saw it happen in the 80s with Seattle. There was a place called Pioneer Square. Seattle was very, 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 positive towards the homeless. They had programs and all this stuff, and what ended up happening is those people started taking advantage of it. Next thing you know, Pioneer Square was overrun. It was overrun. So there's a balance. But like now, I mean, it's good to see all these old motorhomes at least running. But Jesus Christ,
they don't all even.
There's a Volkswagen down this block near the studio.
Such a large percentage that we're dealing with. Are mentally ill,
right?
And
that's Reagan.
Substance abuse, but a large percentage, not all of them, but like downtown predominantly is substance abuse, and then all the outerlying suburbs here are mental illness. But even the mentally ill homeless people that I would deal with, they knew the basic things that they needed to know, and they took advantage of it. They always showed up on the first of the month to pick up their medication.
It's the first of the month.
They always, we have the cell phone program in California for homeless people where they can go and get a cell phone. Every single one of them had a cell phone. I mean, they know.
Well, it'd be great if we could figure out like, so I guess we can blame, here's what I'm saying. We can blame Reagan for shutting down all the mental health services, which is what he did in California. He shut them down. He quit them. All the hospitals closed. Now they're still open, but we used to have a big program to help these people. And since you work with them, it's not, homeless people aren't lazy. They're mostly mentally ill. There's something wrong.
Or they're addicted, yeah.
Or they're addicted, right? There's issues. It's not like they're just lazy.
And they have to want to not do that anymore, which is typically not the case. I mean, that's
on them then. At one point, here's the thing. So,
everyone's like, we could just go offer them. No.
But let's say the ones that want help, like Jerry, there were some guys that wanted help that couldn't. No?
Jerry didn't want help.
Well, then you do this then that's on you then. Either we find a hospital to put them in, because you can blame Reagan, but Reagan was a long time ago. What are we doing now? And Garcetti and Gavin Newsom and the rest, Adam Schiff and the rest of these people. Adam Schiff let the thing in Burbank shut down. Like, you guys talk a good game, Democrats, but step the fuck up. And I'm tired of it. Like, and I don't want to be a both sides guy.
Well, we got shut down in Burbank because it was the not in my backyard kind of situation. The downtown business owners didn't want us running a social services center out of there anymore because homeless people would come to the building and it was too close to their businesses. So now there's no social services
and they're on the
happening.
Streets now.
Yeah.
And now they're in 10 cities.
And now they
on the
don't
streets.
have a regular place to get food
or get cleaned up,
toiletries or get cleaned up, go to the bathroom. They would use our bathroom all the time because they knew that we were open. So yes, it made it worse. So not in your backyard. Well, now they're pooping in your backyard.
Yeah, it's like what Putin says, we don't like NATO, I'm going to invade Ukraine. And now Finland, Sweden, now we're like, you end up creating what you don't want by being an asshole, I find.
Yeah.
And it took me a lot of years to figure that out.
Plus they're human beings,
Right.
It's not cattle that you just shuttle somewhere.
But I'm like, so here's the thing. You said the addiction thing. Like, they want to stay addicted. You want to stay on the street. You want to stay doing drugs. That's on you. Then get out of our thing.
And when I had a meeting last week, we were talking about starting a lot of social service programs, trying to branch out into North Hollywood, which is where we are because this area has become so problematic. And so I'm on that
murder
committee.
block of we're on the murder
house.
Block. We live on murder block.
Is that the name of it? I believe
now
it is.
It got changed.
Okay.
I forget what I was going to say. I had a point, but I forget now.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You interrupt me so much. I'm so used to it.
I'm sorry.
I forget. But anyway, it was a point about homelessness, but I forget.
You were talking about social services and getting them help.
Oh, there's an estimate that it takes a minimum of a year to gain their trust enough to be able to recommend something like that. Moving them to housing, because we have different properties to house people. Some are clean and
Salvation
sober
Army.
and some aren't. Yeah.
Salvation Army, right?
And we have like an opening. People are homeless everywhere, and we have openings in one of the houses, but it takes a long time to gain their trust. A lot of them, especially with mental illness, are very suspect. It took me a year to get Jerry to trust me enough to take that toy that I brought him, and that toy sat there in that office for a long time. And finally, he came back one day and said, "I think I'd like that toy now." I brought him a Star Wars toy because he carries a little suitcase filled with toys. And it took me a year for him to trust me like
Jerry
that.
was like an executive in Sacramento, and then he got mental illness, and then his family kind of kicked him out. And
Yeah, they didn't know what to do with him.
They didn't know what to do.
Do you see that's a repeated story, that happens a lot?
Yeah. Well, so yeah, sort of, a lot of them have been homeless their whole lives. Like we had a kid, Jay, who's in his early 20s, who was in the foster system because he was taken from his mom when he was like 7 or 8 because he was feral and had never been to school and couldn't read and write, and then went into the foster system and was abused in the foster system. And his foster mom would, to punish him when he was bad, starting 13, 14, 15, would kick him out of the house for 3 nights. So he learned to live on the streets. And then he just left, and his whole life he's been on the streets. He's never not been on the street, And I'll never forget that day they closed our center down, and I said to Jay about Jerry, because I always worry about him, and I said, please look out for him. I said, he's not safe out there. And Jay just stopped and looked at me, this kid, and he just said, Ray, nobody's safe out here. None of us are safe out here. And so
this is constant, and the thing is, I hear it, and when I hear how these people ended up like this, I always
horrible.
think, how, I have family members, like, how horrible are human beings, man, at our core. Like, we seem, it's annoying. You wanna think that everybody has empathy and is gonna help, but man, it's stunning to me.
But also those people, by living on the street, they have learned a different way of living. And they have learned means of survival that maybe we don't love, And so when you're helping them, it's a harder road because they,
abuse it. Yeah.
And they have learned to manipulate. Some of them, I'm thinking specifically, or to steal, because they're surviving out there. And they don't know how to be in normal society. It's their way of life. And they're afraid and paranoid because people are trying to hurt you and take whatever things you have. And that's what Jay was saying. I mean, Jerry had been beaten up a few times. I mean, it's like, it's tough. Downtown, Mahogany was saying that, downtown, it looks like District 9. It's the most terrifying thing ever. And Mahogany said that the gangs had actually zoned and taken over those tent cities and were charging those people basically the VIG every month for protection.
They were charging for
so now that's a whole subset society that we can't even conceive of.
So it's like there's so, like you said, it's nuanced and there's so many layers to it. It's so hard for the public to just understand and wrap their head around how does this happen? Why do people keep coming in? Homeless people, grows.
Do you know what there should be?
Is it that hard though? Is it really that nuanced?
Yeah, for sure. But it's just like those people are out of touch with your way of life. These people are very out of touch with that way of life. I don't think people can conceive of.
I'm talking about the government. It's not that nuanced. You put money into services and you help people and you clear them out and you clean up the city.
I think that we need a homelessness task force.
Yes.
And on that task force would be people like my captain, Kelly, from the Salvation Army, who was homeless and addicted to meth for a long time and now has been an officer in the Salvation Army for 2 decades. When he talks about how to deal with stuff, it is totally different.
See, you would think
than
that
us.
Like the general public would go, isn't there already a homeless task force? Isn't there a funneling? Isn't there somebody who's managing this problem?
No, it's all DMV employees. The problem with anytime the government hires a bunch of people, government doesn't give a shit who they hire. What we need, you need to actually change the way government work. You'd have to have a task force that does nothing. You need people with empathy. You need people that are dead serious to do their jobs. You need people that would actually going to make a difference in changing these people and getting them to see a different life. And I know it's not as simple. I know it's not simple. I'm angrier at our government so they've chosen to fucking do nothing.
Right. It seems like
that's
just nothing.
Yeah. It's just you're just letting people take over downtown, drugs, gangs, and you're letting it happen.
If anything, they're making the problem worse.
And I'm not saying I want some fascist psychopath coming in and just start killing us, but
Garcetti
at least,
has a whole webpage on what he's doing to attack the problem. Interesting. Confronting there's a whole webpage that you can click on the different things.
yeah, but I wrote a webpage too that I'm a magician, and I'm not. I can't do a magic trick the same way. I also wrote a webpage that I'm a guitarist, not at all.
Says he's dedicated a record $431 million to homelessness services.
What?
Sounds like a lot, but for what?
I'm sorry, you were in the Salvation Army. Do you remember all those $400 million for the homeless services they were helping you?
There was state funding that was available for certain things if you would do certain things. I know Burbank certainly did.
Yeah, Burbank's
collaborate
its own
financially
city,
and try. Yes,
guys, Burbank's this weird city that's just
they have their own police force.
It's on its own. They have don't mess with the Burbank Police Department. Holy shite!
They're like, no, we don't need the LAPD.
I met them one time, and it did not go well. you were there.
I was there.
That's a movie, The Badass Burbank Police.
But I think that he can sit here in his office and have Margie, his secretary, do a web. Mm-hmm. They need people like Kelly who have been there and who Kelly every day is on the ground dealing with looking in people's eyes and hearing everybody's stories and being attacked and seeing other people. You know what I mean? It's like you don't know what it's like until you're immersed in it, and that's what they need. They don't need some politician trying to make these decisions, because a lot of people think, well, if we build the housing, it'll all be fine. They'll just move in. And if we give them, they were going to give them the abandoned hotels. Uh-huh. Can you conceive of what would happen if homeless people took over an abandoned hotel? It doesn't work that way.
No.
So
no. But by the way, now we're back to Reagan, because we had people that ran those facilities, and if you were a homeless or mentally ill and you had nowhere to go, you could go there, and they would get you counseling. They would get you cleaned up.
None of them want to go.
But it used to be normal, and then when he ended it, then now it's been 40 years.
Just build it, and then that's where they go for their medication, and then shukunk. All right. Hey,
wait a minute.
I think you can.
Now that's not what I want either. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that these politicians, Gavin Newsom, Garcetti, they could step up and do something. I love when people say, I'm like, no, these are Democrats. Get off your asses, Adam Schiff, everybody, and do something. Do something. And wherever you live, if your homeless thing is getting on hand, call them and go, what are you guys doing? There's nothing.
Well, Adam Schiff is Burbank.
Doesn't matter. Well, yeah, but Burbank is where we worked for Salvation Army. I'm just saying that like in Garcetti, it literally looks like they're taking over downtown LA, and it's like this. And
parts of it they have. Yeah.
But we were just driving around, and there was like 9 motorhomes lined up, broken ass motorhomes all lined up, tents, blue tarps. And I'm like, what is happening?
It's everywhere.
What is happening?
It's now encroaching on parts of the city where it never was before. Before they kind of contained it mostly. There was a little here and there, but downtown. Yeah. But it wasn't as bad as this.
Well,
but now it's...
Also because of, I'm sure inflation has something to do, but the rent prices have gone up through the roof.
No available housing, especially affordable.
Who could afford it a couple of years ago for a studio or whatever, then they got kicked out.
But I thought this too. And Ray worked with them, and I said, is it just lazy people people who lost their jobs, or people who went bankrupt? It's not. It's kids like Jay who it's like this fucking long line of being fucked with their whole life, and they ended up on the street. They're addicted to drugs, and no one ever helped them. They didn't have any family to back them up. Like it's not.
I'm sure that those exist. I know that some families are now homeless because
I saw a lady living in
people lost their job and can't afford the rent. But I never met any of them.
Do you know what happened with the rent thing? Is that so? All these people came in from other countries and stuff, and rich people, and they bought 400 homes. They formed a conglomerate and bought 400 homes, and now they raised the rent to pay their loans on all the 400 homes they bought. Yep. So what has happened is that rich. It's what always happens throughout history. The rich keep getting richer. Eventually, the rich own everything, and then eventually the poor are like, you know what? We're going to get guns and knives.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm just reading history now.
So we're starting the shower program in Burbank. We bought one of those mobile showers. It's got 2 showers, one on either side, because and they love to get new clothes. They're not like, I want to keep these clothes I have on. They're like, and so I took 3 or 4 bags of his clothes, especially men's clothing they need. And in that bag,
I just was like, where's that?
I took do you remember from the pictures, the long sleeve button up leopard shirt that he wore for the Prince party? Yeah. You're going to see that.
Oh, hell yeah. that, because you know damn well someone was like, oh, that's mine.
That.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I thought about taking those Alpha Chick shirts too that I have.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be?
Yep.
By the way, guys, thank you for watching and listening, and thank you for everybody who tuned into the live stream. I really, really appreciate it. We did something. We had some glitches, and that you guys are so cool about it. I really appreciate it. I want to thank the crew. And dude, I have to be honest with you. Before we go any further, before we do the fun fact, you took on something. And I'm glad we had other people, but you...
Am I going to cry right now?
No, you better not.
Okay.
It's going to make it weird. You actually took on something and made it happen. And like, I didn't hear till yesterday how bad it was, that you did everything right and we got it done. And that's priceless to me, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Beneath
my wings.
Highlander.
Oh, she is saying Highlander. You're right, at the end. Do you know that part where she belts out? No, okay. Well, you guys need to re-listen to that
she
song.
Says Highlander?
No, but it sounds like it.
Oh, right. But thanks, man. Great job.
There you go.
And all the crew except for those 2 guys. Everything, all the crew was awesome. And now,
No, I was just waiting for my compliment. Go ahead.
no, you always done it.
He was like, did you see how he was like, oh, I'm supposed to introduce something. And now there's not, what? What just happened?
I was going to do fun facts, but let me. Okay.
No, I'm good. I'm really fine.
No.
You're like, I texted you this morning. Come on. Okay, next.
Ahem.
I've
Start
told
the
her. By the way,
teleprompter.
thing is, you're right. I never do it public. I tell you all the time. But,
You do. So
but-
I'm fine. I was kidding.
But you line
You
produced
really
it,
do
and
tell me.
We actually use these cameras that we'd never used before, and that caused stress. But
This
I
doesn't
will say,
sound like a compliment, actually.
but you.
It's because you moved your special to the Netflix weekend.
No. I was
so-
saying that you, on top of all of it, dealt with all of that stuff. Like it's amazing, and then you deal with all the tech guys. Do this. All the camera guys want the best stuff, and you have to manage making them happy and also making sure that we're not getting stuff that we can't use. So you produced amazingly. You produced amazingly. I was a genius. You guys,
Thank you.
made me shine.
And your PAs.
Oh, these guys were awesome. Security and PAs.
Security and PAs.
They were barking all the
and now a fun fact.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Highlanders. Time for fun facts. Highlander, what do you got?
Let's see.
He never knows. He's always
It's
like,
very Tommy.
uh-huh,
Tommy
totally.
would do the same thing.
University of Iceland
He
survey
changes his voice.
Yeah.
found that 62% of Icelanders believe in real-life elves.
62%.
God damn it, it's not just us,
62%.
thank God.
In fact, in 2014, protesters claimed a proposed highway would destroy an elf church, which to many was just a giant rock. Eventually, the church was moved to a safe place so that it would not be harmed.
Wait, the
Was
church
it
or the
still
rock?
a rock?
Was
It's
it
a
still
rock.
a rock?
The rock
It's a
is the
70-ton
church.
rock.
Did they move the rock and be like, oh, no, it's a church?
The
Or
rock
no,
is a
they-
church.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry. 62% of people adults believe in elves in Iceland. Wow.
Yeah, but maybe
See,
that's
we're not doing that bad.
maybe there's something
JFK Jr. elf? Maybe.
maybe there's something you don't know. Maybe there are elves. And
Just
maybe
because
you're
You
in
can't
the
call
dark.
them elves. Okay,
They're
That's the
probably
problem.
going, these morons believe in aliens. Have you heard they have an Area 51,
Oh,
a
yeah,
whole area in a state dedicated to, no?
They believe JFK. They stood in
Yeah.
Dealey Plaza for 3 weeks waiting
Yeah.
for JFK Jr.
They think
You know what?
Tupac and Elvis
You know what I'll
are
say?
still
The
alive.
fucking viruses are right. Come on, guys, just get rid of us because the ones that are
Also,
just
an
get-
upside, victims of Surfside condo collapse just reached a $997 million settlement. So who's going to pay that? That guy didn't have that, right? The shady landlord guy that owned the building?
No, I bet you they can sue the state because the state was supposed to inspect it. Wait, if I remember correctly, the state said that you guys got to fix this. You got to fix this. You
Oh,
gotta fix this.
defendants in the case included the building's insurance company, developers of a neighboring condo building, an engineer firm that warned of the tower's structural issues before its collapse, and others. The settlement is much higher than most lawyers expected.
Oh, speaking of Florida, did you see what DeSantis? We'll get out of here. DeSantis basically said Disney's evil and they're pedophiles and everything, and now we're not going to give them the special thing anymore. Well, the way the laws are written, that Disney basically there's a $1 billion bond that the only way they can cut Disney loose is that DeSantis has to come up with $1 billion to pay Disney.
Wait, that's great. That's great.
But because Disney was handling it.
Yeah.
Disney was handling all this infrastructure.
Right.
Well, now, because of the bond that Disney owned, the only way that DeSantis can do what he wants is to pay $1 billion.
Yeah, who else is going to do it? They were covering it.
I was like, every
Genius.
time you're an asshole, it comes back on you.
Guess what?
What?
I'm glad you asked. Our tickets to the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh the whole month of August are now on sale. And you can go to either of our websites and click the link. Even if you live here and you just need a vacation, what better place to go to see all the best comedy in the world all month? You could go to a different show every night. And they're on sale now. And they're on our websites.
Great people. Go to the website.
No, don't piss them. Well, what just happened?
Scottish people are like, what's he doing? I don't understand what he's doing.
No, I don't think. Okay.
Well,
I like that he just keeps landing on great because that's
the
the
only
one word.
the only word I can nail.
And brave.
By the time I get there, I'll be able to do it. You know me. I'll work on
right.
it.
Well,
guys,
thanks
for listening and thanks for watching the Titus Podcast. Please go to YouTube and subscribe. Let's get those up and do me a favor. Be nice to people. It was something that came up in the last special. Even if your uncle voted for Trump and you can't and you're still not talking to him, you know, man, let it go. If your neighbor who you really liked, used to like until he put the Biden sign in his yard, still you can't talk to him because that. Just fucking let it go. Talk about something else.
Yeah.
Let's get back to who we used to be, where we can go, yeah, you voted that guy, voted that guy.
That's what my grandma Jean
let's
does.
get rid of the fucking crazy.
She just goes, I just don't want to talk about it. I don't want to. I'm not going to talk about it because she doesn't want any family members to fight over any politics. Also, if you pray, please say some for grandma who's dealing with some stuff right now.
Dealing with some stuff, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. For myself, Bombshell Ray, and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
There could be anyone.
Elves? They believe in fucking elves.
62%.
I know.
At least we only have a small percentage of.
Yeah, but
like
we
30.
had Donald Trump. I'm sure they're like, we might believe in elves, but.
Yeah, the elf thing. But this guy's a moron.